Hi, I'm Chef Joe from Clean Eating Magazine, and today we're making a rapini and ricotta whole grain pizza. Now first I want to show you a little bit about rapini. Now rapini is this dark green leafy vegetable that I absolutely love, and you have to actually blanch it before you put it on your pizza. So you have to rip the leaves off of the stem because the leaves are going to cook at a much quicker time than the stems. So get a pot of boiling water, a little bit of salt, and put your stems in first. Now about a minute later you can add all the leaves in. Once they're all done, drain all the water out and then dunk them into an ice bath so you stop the cooking process. So when they're all done, you're going to have beautiful bright green rapini that looks just like this. Now it's also very wet because a lot of water gets sort of stuck in the leaves and in the buds, so you want to give it a good squeeze and just squeeze out a lot of that excess water because you don't want that on the top of your pizza. Now blanching the rapini helps take out a little bit of the bitterness, and it also stops it from scorching on the top of the pizza. So once it's all squeezed, all you need to do is just give it a rough chop. Nothing fancy about that here, right? And then you're all set. Now the last thing you want to do with the rapini is to season it. And my favorite thing to season rapini with is a little bit of lemon juice and a little bit of crushed red chili flakes. Now if you don't have chili flakes, you can use a little bit of cayenne pepper or your favorite hot sauce. And if you don't have lemon, you can just use a little splash of vinegar. There we go. Perfect. Now we can just mix that up. And our rapini is ready for action. So next we have our pizza. So you can use your favorite whole grain pizza dough, and you want to keep it out at room temperature so it's really easy to stretch. Now you should have a little bit of flour. Now if you're using a whole wheat pizza crust, use whole wheat flour. If you're using a gluten-free pizza crust, use a gluten-free flour to make sure that it doesn't stick to your cutting board. Now once you have it kind of stretched out, you want to use your knuckles. Your hands are going to do all the work here. Now if you tear a hole in it, it's not that big a deal. You can just kind of patch it up. And if you're not so good at that, you can just use your fingertips and just spread it out on the cutting board. I prefer to do this by hand rather than rolling it out with a rolling pin. I think it gives a more authentic crust and it kind of bubbles up a little bit nicer. Now, if you really want to have some fun, you can try and do the flip. Woo, look at that. And I didn't even rip it. Amazing, right? There we go. Okay, now your pizza's ready. You need a tray lined with parchment paper, and then you can sprinkle it with a little bit of cornmeal. And this gives it a really nice crispy crust on the bottom. And transfer it over, fold it, makes your life a little bit easier. And there we go. Now for some sauce. My favorite sauce for pizza is the simplest thing you'll ever make. Use boxed unsalted tomatoes, add a little bit of basil, some garlic, and just puree it up in your blender. You don't even need to cook it. You've got this perfect sauce that is so fresh on pizza. You will absolutely love it. It'll be your go-to pizza sauce. It's also really good with pasta as well. You can pour that on, and you want a nice thin layer. Now this is a fresh sauce, so it's very, very flavorful, and you don't need a lot. It doesn't have any of those added sugars that other pizza sauces have, right? Okay, now for our ricotta cheese. Now authentic pizza doesn't have, double cheese loaded up, this thick with cheese. Just a few nice dollops of cheese and you'll be all set. We've got some low-fat ricotta, and I like to just scoop it in big dollops, and you want to make sure that every slice gets a piece. So we've got about 8 slices here, so we'll do 8 dollops. You don't want anyone to be left out, right? Doesn't this look pretty? And then, of course, we're going to add a little bit more flavor with some beautiful sun-dried tomatoes. We've just chopped those up. And then some Kalamata olives, so a little bit of salty bite on the top. And of course, our rapini, we can't forget about that, right? Look at how pretty this is. And it's even the colors of the Italian flag, right? It's red, white, green. There we go. And then, last but not least, a little bit of Parmesan cheese. Now Parmesan is a really strong flavored cheese, so you only need a little bit of it to add some flavor, and this browns really nicely when it comes out of the oven. There we go. And we're all set. This is going to go in the oven at 450 degrees for about 15 minutes or until it's nice and golden brown on the bottom and the cheese is all bubbling. Now when it comes out, check this out. Mouth-watering pizza for dinner that's way better and healthier than delivery. For more quick and easy dinner ideas, visit us again at cleaneating.com and pick up your copy of Clean Eating magazine. We'll see you soon.